Hello and welcome everyone, Fuji here, and we're gonna be talking about some summer camp. We got some new information, so you're gonna want to stay to hear some of this. So when it comes to the summer camp game, there will be one map on release, but later on down the line, there will likely be more maps. I think depending on how fun the game is, it'd be okay to have one map for a while, but the community that will eventually form up will get antsy and they're gonna want to see more. That's for sure. But hopefully this day one map is like really fun when we're playing. And the reason it's going to be one map is because they're a small team and they're focused on the quality rather than the quantity. So they want to make sure they get the gameplay right and have less bugs and things of that sort, and then add maps later on. When it comes to the weapons, there will be many, go figure. And when it comes to emotes, there will definitely be emotes in the game, but they did say that there may be special emotes depending on the character you pick. Now, when it comes to this game having a full trailer, it's going to be later down the line, and they want to roadmap it to the point where we know when the trailer will be, when the beta will launch, and things of that sort. But there is no concrete date at the moment. So how many slashers will it be in this game, or killers? There will be about 4 of them, and they're basically going to be original slashers. There's not going to be no licensed killers, and there's not really going to be like licensed cosmetics either at the moment. In other news, one thing that's very interesting is you can actually kill the killer in this game, so that's something that is possible. And real quick, guys, ladies, remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, when it comes to playable characters, on the survivors end, there will be 8. So it is nice that there's a +1, because the survivors together have a maximum of 7 people, then there's 1 slasher. So there is a extra person always that may not get picked. Now when it comes to the price of the game, it's still undetermined at the moment, but according to sources or the community representative, the price of the game will make sense because they apparently they understand like where they're at. They understand it's a small company. The game isn't going to be 100% polished, bug-free and stuff like that. So they're not going to charge, I guess, outlandish price, I suppose. But one thing that is neat is they said there will be more than one game mode, if not on launch, definitely later on in the game's release. And when it comes to these characters, there will be hair physics. So I know we've been wanting that in TCM, so this game is going to have some nice hair physics. And briefly, speaking about a game like TCM, when the characters interact with each other, Connie might say, "Oh, hey, Sunny, it's you," or like whatever she would say. In this game, they're not going to interact with each other, the survivors, at least at the moment. But when it comes to the feedback the developers have been getting, we would like that in the game, so they could very well add that by the time we're playing in the beta, or maybe even later in the future. But again, some of these things are very subject to change because they're taking in a lot of input, and when that beta launches later on, they may go ahead and take some more of that input, of course. Or they can just ego us and just not listen. I mean, I don't know, right? So when it comes to this map, as we establish it, it is going to be one map. Apparently, there's going to be like a variety of weather sometimes. There's going to be a variety of weather and maybe certain locations. It might be raining, and they even mention how there could potentially be snow in the future and things of that sort. When it comes to queuing up this game, the slasher will be selected at random, although very big possibility that there's a preference mode to be the slasher. And since we're on the topic of the slasher, there is going to be a chase music, but the number of slashers, I think they're going to have like up to 4 and counting as the game progresses. The chase music isn't going to be unique between them. They're going to have the same chase music. However, as further feedback came in, they could add more diversity in the future. I know Dead by Daylight is really good at that. Each killer has a different chase music, so it'd be cool if they could implement something like that that'd make sense. When it comes to communication, there will be proximity chat. You can talk to people in the area, and the slasher can hear your words as well. Unfortunately, for the console players, the test build will not be on console, so that's something y'all are going to have to figure out. But there will be private lobbies, so that's certainly going to be a thing. When it comes to the number of escapes, there will be up to 4. We don't know the specifics on that, but I hear there's going to be a radio that can be used. We'll see how that manifests itself in the game, and we'll get the specifics on that later on. So when it comes to the game's launch date, I believe when the beta starts, it's going to be of Q4 of 2025. So those are the last few months of the year, the October, November, December. So that's when we can finally get our hands on the game and play. When it comes to crossplay, that can be activated or deactivated. So of course, I suspect if you have it activated, your queues could be a lot faster, and we'll see how that ends up working. But when they eventually do have that added, when the game really launches, that'll definitely be very beneficial. Now, we have information on the max level in this game, and it's going to start at 25, right? I know some of y'all gonna get that in the first week, because y'all crazy. No, I'm kidding. But the max level will be 25, and they're certainly going to raise it in the future. So I think that's pretty sweet. So we'll see how that turns out later on as well. And that max level, that might be on a specific character you can get level 25. So if you play all of the 8 campers or whatnot, you may be able to get them all level 25. I don't think that's just like a account level 25. I think that's the specific character. So let's go on to these characters, right? When it comes to the survivors, we know there's a pool of 8 different characters with different traits and stuff. We know information on some of them. I may make a video on that later. However, if somebody does play one of those characters, you can play them as well. I know when TCM first released, it was really hard to get Connie, and if people couldn't get Connie, people would dodge, people would leave, right? So in this game, yeah, everybody can play that one character if they so choose. And later on in the game, I'm sure when they add certain characters, and there's a bit of a price tag on them, if you don't get that new character that's unlocked, you don't have to dodge, because everybody can just play them. And like, that makes sense. So I think this is a great start on the game so far. We still got to play it, of course, and all that, but we'll see as time goes on. I do want to mention that the game is going to be third person, so of course you're going to see your cosmetics. Not the biggest surprise there, but that is what we have. I will say, please see the description for more context, and if you haven't seen my other summer camp video, you can go ahead and watch that. And again, remember to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.